Alright, hey everyone! Welcome to another Wildewitch RP live play TTRPG session. What is Wildewitch RP? That's me, Faye, Game Master and Storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We are a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And tonight, we're playing D&D. This session features the Burning Veil storyline set in our very own Velenara campaign setting. It is a deeply personal tale of trust, betrayal, magic, and magnificent ambition where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. With us at the table are several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to play alongside them, you're more than welcome to join us as well. You can ask in chat or hop over to our Discord to find out more information. Now, speaking of our awesome players, it's time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, Game Master and Storyteller. With me is Sirenscape, bringing all of our background music, as well as sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at sirenscape.com. And now, let us meet our courageous, daring heroes as they are moving to a potentially stressful confrontation? Who knows? But we'll begin with an introduction for Bracken.
For Bracken? Hey everyone, it's me, Bracken. Bracken's a was fairy, now Kender monk fighter who's very good at punching things and not very good at talking things. But we get by and we try to make the best of it, the most of it, the best and the most of it.
Why is that such a Bracken thing to say? I love it. Next up for our introductions, let's learn of Avi.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, and I play Avi. She is a half-elf bard sorcerer. She cares deeply about her friends. She is constantly singing and humming and making music quietly. And she's a little scary.
Just a little.
Apparently. She doesn't see it.
Just a little spooky. But who doesn't like being a little spooky? We love that. So, with that, our next introduction is for Cecil.
Hello, my name is Brent, and I play Cecil Darkholm. He's a Forest Gnome Cavalier. He's dealing with a lot of emotional and mental stuff now due to his time in Vale d'Umbra. He's trying to lean on the strength and faith of his sister, even though she's very far, but he's ready to continue supporting his friends and doing what he can.
Amazing. Amazing. And then last but not least, let us learn of Z.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bo, and I play Z. They are a changeling artificer who is currently on the verge of being, how do I describe it? A very mysterious person. I think they are going through a little bit of a hard time in terms of just everything that's happened to them so far in this journey, and they are excited to see where this night will take them next.
Alrighty. So, with that, we are able to dive back into our story, into our session. As you are in the Shadowed Repository, a labyrinthian library of souls and experiences, somewhere not quite in Vale d'Umbra, not quite in the ethereal, existing somewhere on its own between realms. You've made some connections with the local denizens, memory eaters, as you've been told by one Thalendronis. But not all is aggressive or seeks to consume, as you have found a small sanctum in the in Calendriel's arboretum. And here you have met a few figures. And it seems that these figures are in need of aid, and perhaps with enough quality aid, they may be able to share the information that is important to your journey, which is where we begin. You are heading to speak to Brother Silvarian in the Hall of Ancient Scrolls. You've had quite the experience with Silvarian so far. A rough footing, an apology from one of you, and now you need favors, or at least guidance, aid, for, I believe it is 2 tasks?
As of right now, yeah.
Okay. So, when you descend from the Stargazer's cell and make your way into the Hall of Ancient Scrolls, Silvarian is present, still cleaning off some of the stolen scrolls, though you would notice that some of them are also already been fully cleaned. What do you do?
Bracken knows. Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Okay. I was just gonna say Bracken knows that they're more on thin ice with this guy at the moment, so he's gonna be walking around on eggshells, trying not to touch anything. You know, trying not. He can't be. He knows he can't be much of a help in smoothing things over, so he's trying not to hurt the situation.
I'll approach again quietly as possible.
What's your passive stealth?
14.
Okay. As you're approaching quietly, carefully, you can just sort of see his ear flicker as he seems to have heard your approach, but he doesn't make any comment. Seems to wait.
Still working on those scrolls, huh?
It's what I've devoted myself to.
Well, yeah, no, I just meant these ones specifically.
Well, they were brought to me in a less than ideal condition. Not that I expected anything different when whipsmen are involved.
And I'll just kind of nod and I'll press to digitation on one of them, getting the grease and oil off. Yep. So, if you don't mind, we've been been helping around here, and it seems that we need your help again in helping others, if you don't mind.
What is it that is specifically required of my expertise? Why is it
Alright.
my that it's required?
Well, because, you're the only one in here that we know that we have a rapport with, and, you can definitely push us off to somebody else. Like, if you don't want to help, that's fine. I'll move around.
I was more asking about what the task you were wanting.
Oh, right. Yes. So, first thing, a recipe for Starshade elixir for the Elder Tree. And then the second thing was, we've got some star maps with new constellations on them that we just need to research what that might be.
Well, you have the archives, and I can assist with the facilitation of any sort of knowledges. I will say, however, that I am unfamiliar with any sort of recipe, if at least by that name. There is a whole section of alchemical and culinary recipes devoted in this hall of the scrolls, but that's not a name I'm familiar with.
All right.
So he points you in the direction of where the recipes are, and then of course you have the entirety of the hall to search through for in regards to the constellations, the star charts. And because he did say that he would be able to help in the facilitations, you can make your checks with advantage for gathering these knowledges.
Right.
And that's for anyone in the room.
I'm gonna focus on the star map thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and look through the recipe section.
Well, Z, where are you? Were last seen having a moment out in the courtyard, so before we have you joining in, we'll come to you in just one moment to see how you handled your time before we have you drawn in. So just one moment onto that. Hold on to your...
No, you're good.
So Avi made an investigation for that. What about Bracken and Cecil? What are you guys doing?
Bracken is, since he's staying true to form and not touching anything, he's going to look at the star map.
Okay, so you're over with Avi, handling that. Okay.
Cecil had clued into some of the star stuff that was going on before, so that's where he would be looking first, since we kind of got shut down on the other thing.
Well, he just said that he wasn't aware of the recipes, but he did point you to where a recipe was, or could be, so. yeah, whatever roll you want to do with the star map, go for it. You have advantage because Silvarian is helping.
Thank you for the event.
Cecil, with a 10, you're a little distracted. What's going on in your mind?
All these shapes look familiar, but they're not supposed to go this way.
Sounds good. So, as Avi, Bracken, and Cecil are focusing on the star map, Z.
Hmm.
When you had the very difficult conversation, primarily with not Triana, but the others were, you ended up sort of falling to your knees, using your jacket, your cloak, as a bit of a barrier protective around you. How long did you stay like that?
I think longer than Z is willing to admit. I think for the first time they showed an emotion. It's, I believe, despair or sadness would be the right word. Yes, sadness. I think that even though they are trying to help, but also to figure out their own motivations, their own goals for why they're here, I think for the first time that in a long time that they sob. They try to keep it as quiet as possible. But I think if people were close-ish, they would hear that they are just lost. It's like their mind is a dark void. And it's like a singular ray of light shining on them in this dark void. And like, that's what their brain is like. They don't know what to do. They're sad, lost, and confused.
Guys, see, you have a bit of a cry out here. And you stay out perhaps longer than you would like, but you feel that sort of physical relief that happens after a cry. The body just kind of resetting. And it's at that point that you sort of walk through. You heard your friends sort of walking around the courtyard, and you can move to try and find them. Go ahead. I'll say roll for me an investigation check. Oh yeah, easily enough you're able to find the rest of the companions in a very short amount of time. The other denizens of the Arboretum are able to point you, and when you arrive, Natriana still seems a little tense. She gives you a nod. She's not, like, entirely cold-shouldering you, but it is Thalandranus who will update you on the situation, which at this point, if you would like to go over to the recipe section, the alchemical and culinary recipes, go ahead. Whatever check you would like to make to try and find this, and then you have advantage from the help of Silvarian.
Do you think Arcana would suit this, maybe?
Not quite yet. This is
Not quite yet, okay.
This is Arcana would be more helpful when you actually, if you have your hands on it and are able to look into it.
Okay. And advantage because of
Silvarian's help.
cool.
$15. As you are looking through everyone, the rest of you would be able to notice Z's re-emergence and reappearance, sort of just kind of on the outskirts of the group, not really looking into the star sign stuff, looking into the area where Solarian had mentioned the recipes are. Natriana kind of stays in between both groups and kind of that wary watcher that she was before, keeping an eye on everyone. Thalendranus just seems lost. Between not only the group and what you guys are doing, but Silvarian, who she always kind of looks at with a bit of confusion and wistfulness. And we'll start off with Z. There are many elixirs in the alchemical and culinary recipes. Some of them including the words star and shade. But there's no star shade elixir recipe, which is a little disappointing. But you've turned over all of the recipes here, and there's just none in this portion of the Arboretum, if it is in the Arboretum.
Okay.
For those over with the star map, Cecil, you are recognizing the constellation shapes, but you're not getting much further than that. And for Avi and Bracken, what you end up is sort of equating the constellations to words, and it becomes a message almost. And with the help of Brother Silvarian, at the end, what you have is, when the silver swan takes flight in the heart of the night's veil, and the three sisters dance their eternal waltz, yet never truly meet. Seek the star of eternity, the weeping willow's celestial tear, and there, in the gaze of the lone voyager, the truth shall be revealed.
Okay.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. I got like a riddle or something.
Yeah, Star of Eternity really stands out.
Can we get that one more time?
When the silver swan takes flight in the heart of the night's veil,
Okay.
and the three sisters dance their eternal waltz, yet never truly meet.
Okay.
Sure.
Seek the star of eternity, the
Got it.
weeping willow's celestial tear,
Okay.
and there, in the gaze of the lone voyager, the truth shall be revealed.
One Voyager.
Got it. So it's something about something to do with seasons and a time in a day. Like there's gonna be Okay. Uh right. And Bracken's gonna Bracken's gonna go full just 1,000-yard stare while he processes through all that information.
Avi's gonna write it down in her journal. Just so we have it somewhere.
For sure.
Well, I mean, we might not know anything, but
Oh my
they might
god.
know upstairs.
Out of character, I feel like I know what this is, but I'm gonna roll. Ah.
So, you get the sort of translation written, multiple copies, it sounds. But your task was to just kind of look into this. You weren't sent on any sort of following whatever message lied in the stars. You were just asked to translate it, which you have.
Got it.
And at this point, you can kind of see where Z is nearby, and seems to have been unfruitful in their search.
Maybe I'll go help Z now that we've got this piece.
All right.
I go help Z look for the recipe.
Yeah, if you would like to go ahead and roll a check. Cecil, you're still distracted by something.
All those confusing words and proper nouns.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of proper nouns.
I look over to Cecil. Friend, you look distracted. Is everything okay? What
We
did you
just-
find?
A bunch of words that don't make much sense to me.
May I go take a look at them?
Sure, Avi's got them written down.
I go over to Avi.
How's he?
Hi. Cecil said you found something?
Yeah, we found out what the message was and we got it translated.
That's good. Wow, my brain just blanked. Is it okay if I read it? And
Sure.
I'll like read it.
You flip to no other pages in there.
Could you repeat? I'm so sorry, you broke up
I
there.
said,
for a second.
don't flip to no other pages in there.
Of course, I would never want to do that. And I read over the message. Do you think? Well, I just looked through the scrolls and there were some words that related to star and shade, but looking at this, do you think that this and those recipes or something could these two be related?
Probably not. I mean, this is for something completely different than what that is. Starshade elixirs for the tree. This is for the stargazers. He said something about the recipe being lost. So, I mean, we thought it was a pretty good shot that he'd be in here, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's not here, who knows where it is. But we should at least try to find it.
Yes. Another, I guess, hypothetical. Because this poem is related to stars. I mean, I feel like this is just my brain, but constellations for different seasons?
Well, I mean, the oddity was that there were new stars, which isn't something that normally happens.
Yes. It's just something that popped into my head, I guess. Especially because I mean, of course, it's cryptic, but I don't know. I guess we could just continue to look around and maybe figure out what all of this poem means, I guess. And I'm very awkward. I just turn and just beeline back for the recipes.
All right, cool. We gotta get this back upstairs to them.
Yeah, I think it's best to have them look at it.
Oh, great. Then I'll start heading back the way we came, back up the stairs.
Cecil scuttles after.
Bracken will make his way. That sounds like a good move, obviously.
Yeah,
I'll
trailing.
I'll make sure I
behind.
have the maps as well. We don't want to leave those behind. Give them back.
Natriana will wait until Z has started following before trailing behind as well. Not so close, but kind of keeping everyone in eyesight. But you make your way back up to where Brother Nimrod, the astronomer, is with Lorendra, and the two of them are in conversation again. The telescopes that are all about. Lorendra will be the one that notices your presence. Well, any luck?
Yeah, loads actually.
You can
And
see
I'll-
a look of like just being impressed kind of come over Lorendra's eyes.
I'll kind of tear out the page that I've written the thing down on, and I'll hand it over along with the maps.
Yeah.
That's what we found. I don't know what it means, but
The two of them kind of look over it and then it seems reread it. Potentially reread it again. When then Lorendra gives a heavy sigh. May take years to produce any meaningful interpretation of this.
I know how you feel. I got another riddle that we gotta work out.
At least, perhaps that is still one thing. It's likely that this one may have already come to pass. I doubt it, but information doesn't really pass at a expedited rate down here.
Mm.
Nimroth, however, we thank you. The cryptic phrases that people have written, such like this one, usually have meaning to themselves. Then that meaning is lost. Though there are some that argue that there was never really any meaning to it at all. We appreciate what you have done for us.
Oh, don't even mention it.
So, with them now having a little bit more extra work and of a different nature. You did mention that you had another riddle.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
Hmm.
We've got that riddle, and we still need to find this recipe.
Right. Y'all remember the riddle?
Okay, there was a goose and
No, not quite.
three sisters,
That's
and
a different one, Bracken.
oh, that's a different one.
Yeah, we got another one that we got to figure out.
Mmm,
Mm-hmm.
this riddle's going on. I don't know.
There are.
I don't know if my head's gonna be.
Avi will flip to another page in her journal. A river of knowledge bends and flows, carrying hopes and dreams. It should look up. See if anybody has anything.
Bracken's gonna look over at her like expecting more. Like, oh, that's it?
No, there's more.
Oh,
That's just okay.
Okay.
At end pretends the doom of which would be presumed. It shall look up again.
So
Nothing?
many words.
Okay. Where lay the lost words of Zoltharak, annihilation charms. There it is.
now you see my problem with these riddles is that
Mhm.
they kind of get all together like one of them bread snacks that is covered in salt. One of them it's like a it made out of words. You know what I mean?
You mean a sandwich?
No, that's got stuff in the middle. That's different. But I digress. There's a lot going on these. There's we got one that's dealing with like a river, and then a pissed off guy that's gonna do a lot of damage.
Well, here's the thing about Zoltharak is he was a historian. He did a lot of recording stuff around the War of Dominion and stuff about giants that even was earlier than the War of Dominion. So he wrote a lot of words, and some of them got lost.
Huh.
I don't know if you already assumed this, but especially the beginning, a river of knowledge bends and flows, carrying hopes and dreams. Do you think that could be somewhere here where we're at right now? Like maybe a
Well,
place where he where he wrote those lost words?
I don't think
Sounds
so.
sounds to me a perfect time for anyone who would like to roll either a investigation or an insight check.
Mhm.
That's a 4.
The 23 inside.
Cecil, what's distracting your mind right now?
There's so many words and none of them make sense.
I love it.
Doubling the words made half as much sense.
Yep. Avi, you were a little sort of hesitant, but as Z kind of brings up the idea, the lost words. You think about the way that the Shadowed Repository works. Zoltharak published many works. A lot of his words were known to the people. But here, in the Shadowed Repository, it is a almost retelling of his life from his point of view. Many lost words. Here, in the Shadowed Repository, you think that perhaps whatever is speaking of, this is where the lost words of Zoltharak lie. So annihilation churns somewhere. You recall that Silvarian said that this library in the Arboretum is hand-selected, carefully cultivated.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be even just further narrowed down from beyond the Shadowed Repository to Calendriel's Arboretum.
Mm.
And then with a 26 Z, as you kind of think about the river of knowledge that bends and flows, you have heard the sound of a stream when you were in the courtyard. You all did, but you didn't see it. And Bracken and Cecil heard it as well in the gardens, where you had been looking to figure out what's going on with the elder tree. So, talking aloud your ideas. Perhaps this is closer to you and being able to be solved than might have been thought before.
I think we need to find that stream that we heard.
There's a light in Avi's eyes. She doesn't say anything, but she looks excited and starts moving that way towards the courtyard.
Okay.
I quickly follow behind.
Cecil just shrugs. It's like, alright, well, might as well follow them.
Now Triana is right there with Cecil.
Hell yeah.
I love the sort of dichotomy between we have a cleric that is super knowledgeable, and then the cleric that was actually like underneath Hilaros and admiring him is not so knowledgeable. And it's so heartwarming to me to see how characters develop. But what she lacks in her thoughts, she makes up with her heart. So, go ahead, let us get... I'm going to say either investigation or survival to find this stream.
Where's Tiffany when you need him?
I miss you too, but
Oh, Miss Tiffany.
Tripway exists somewhere. Frolicking through fields of whimsy.
Mm.
Avi, you're having trouble finding the stream, but sort of explain to me what's kind of causing that. Is it just a bit more of excitement, or
I think she's just overly excited that they've kind of figured it out, that she's almost too eager to get to the bottom of it.
for Z, Cecil, and Bracken, you're able to find your way towards the stream, though it does take you off path. You have to move from the courtyard to the gardens, and then beyond. And Cecil, Bracken, and even Avi recall all what kind of happened the last time you went off a path, which wasn't all that far back when you really think about it. But there are no strange spirits here, or glowing full moon flowers. No shrines. No mirrors.
My God.
But you do find water. It is very much a small river, a stream that sort of babbles, carries itself, caring not for anyone nor anything, just flowing.
Oh, we gotta find the end of it.
Which end?
The river only flows one way.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you've got
Well, I
to
thought you meant,
you got to start and an end,
yeah, start, yeah.
but we're looking for the end, not the start.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So we just follow the way the river's flowing. We'll find
Yeah,
the
that should
end.
be easy. Heck yeah.
Have you ever seen a river before, Cecil?
He
I-
fell in one.
I've probably fallen in a number.
I've only witnessed the one, so.
Yeah, Cecil, you're crazy. And Bracken's gonna like look at him worriedly and not let everybody know that he was about to say, but in order to find the end, when we need to find the start.
Can you roll for me? Can you roll for me a performance check to make you seem nonchalant? Alright, if you have a passive insight of 11 or higher, you know that something's up with Bracken.
You're
Cecil's
right.
glaring at him.
We're cool.
Uh-huh. You look like you got something you want to say.
I know.
Okay.
I figured it out. We're good.
Okay. And Avi's just gonna start following the river.
Bracken will immediately, as soon as Avi starts moving, toe to heel on Avi, trying to just get out of the situation.
He stepped on my heel.
Sorry.
I gotta fix my shoe.
Yeah, I flat tired you a bit there. My bad.
What's a tire?
It's one of them rubber things they're putting on wagons these days.
Cecil's very worried about Bracken.
No, I've seen it. I'm not on wagons, of course, but like there's some mobilized weapons, like on like big, like almost not quite your catapults, but similar to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, rubber plants are canon, I guess.
Yeah. They'll grow somewhere. Just like you got
On
glue.
Shoal.
Sargaza.
Sorry, yeah, no, Chult adjacent.
Sargaza.
Sargaza.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, yeah, so as you guys are moving through, can I get perception checks?
Maybe. Not from me.
Yeah, we're all gonna end up. in
Yeah,
the
I'm
same
focused.
area
I'm
for the rest of
focused
this.
on following the flow of the river.
Yeah.
Freaking excited.
What is that? An average of a 10 through the entire group?
You all hear underneath the babble of the brook, because it is right next to you. You hear soft words spoken.
Hmm?
And it almost reminds you of the Whispering Caverns, but there doesn't seem to be this sort of ever-present, cacophonous whispering. Just soft voices. You can't quite make them out. The water is too much. But Cecil, with an 11, you are almost positive you hear the voice of your father.
Oh,
You don't hear what he says, but you hear that tone, that sort of cadence that he spoke with.
Cecil stops and looks at the water.
Cecil, as you stop and look at the water, can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Is it against magic?
It's a magical effect, yeah.
I get advantage against magic.
And you have advantage.
Uh-oh.
Cecil, as you turn and look at the water, you see just the flowing stones. You feel yourself almost falling forward. There's not a crash of waves or water around you, but there's a coolness, a refreshing sensation, and as you sort of open your eyes, you seem to find yourself in Darkholm. And as you see that, that's where we're going to go to our first ad break.
No.
So, stick around with us. We will be right back to continue our story. But before we head out, I do ask that you let the ads run. They are a huge part of how we keep our games affordable here at Wildewitch RP. You can turn down the volume, but please don't mute them or leave us. If you want to help us out more directly, you can always make a donation to my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen. Ko-fi donations not only help support us at Wildewitch RP and provide your GM their much-needed caffeine addiction, but they also unlock awesome perks for our entire community, benefiting everyone who plays with us for the next week. Perks including special companions, double treasure, double XP, and even new quests. So, stick tight. We'll be right back. And we are back. And we return to Cecil. As you stand, not just in Darkholm, but in your home. The familiar walls around you, the tapestries that hang there, even the runners on the floor, all familiar. And you can hear that and We can hear voices. You're not here alone. What do you do?
I go towards the voices.
Okay. So, as you make your way to the voices, you find it leads you to the dining hall. You see familiar faces. Your siblings. Your father. It's breakfast like any other.
I go take my normal seat.
You take your normal seat and you see your sister, Cecily. She looks up and gives you a smile. It's almost impish. As if the two of you are in on some secret that no one else is.
What's everyone else doing?
They're having their conversations. Some of them have kind of given you a nod over breakfast, but it's at this point that you hear your father's voice. Cecil,
Yes, Father?
are you prepared for the ceremonies today?
I'm not sure. Can you tell me what's happening today? Sorry, it was a long night on duty.
I can very much imagine, but, well, with your efforts here, we won't be perhaps needing so many long nights after all. Thanks to what you've done on the incursions that were planned, your exile has been lifted, and so you are being celebrated, honored for your efforts.
Right, I don't know how I could forget that.
Stressful night, I understand. But we must make sure that you are ready.
What must I do?
Well, firstly, polish up your armor. You are representing Darkholm, not just the city, but the name.
Of course.
And then you will be expected to give a speech presentation. I trust you've got some writings about.
Sure, that shouldn't be a problem.
And you will meet in the center of the city just after noon.
Just afternoon. You've got it.
Can I have, while this is happening, can I have perception checks from Z, Avi, and Bracken? You all hear something enter into the water. Not like a crash or fall, but the water's babbling shifts as if something's now in the middle of it, and you see Cecil kneeled down, face so close to the water that it's in it.
I run over
Immediately.
and I grab him by his right shoulder and I try to pull him away from the water.
Cecil, you feel a sort of mental tugging trying to pull you out of this. Maybe it's some sort of psychic attack. Do you fight against it?
Yes.
Make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
11.
Everything goes dark around you once again, and when you open your eyes, you are blinking water out from your eyelashes. Your face is freezing cold, and you see Avi and Z looking at you, looking down at you.
Are you alright?
I don't know.
What happened? What did you see? Are you okay? Just first of all,
I kind of pat around my body.
Your lungs hurt a little bit, as if they weren't getting enough oxygen, but otherwise you seem fine.
I think I'm okay. I was home. I saw it, I heard it, I felt it. I was there.
That must have been nice, but it scared me a little.
Well, I think now it's scaring me a lot.
I continue looking at Cecil. I look at Avi. Whatever this river does, we need to be aware and we need to be careful.
We need to finish what we came here to do. Cecil,
No.
are you good?
I think so. I heard my father from the river and it drew me in. Maybe
Wait a
keep that in mind.
Why would your dad be in the river?
He's not in the river. I don't know. This place has done weird things with memories already.
Fair enough.
It's probably more along those lines.
Do you need a minute?
No, I think we should keep going. I'm okay.
Alright, then let's continue.
Thanks, Avi. Thanks, Z. Thanks, Bracken.
Yeah.
Not a problem. As you said, it's definitely been weird, but yeah, let's keep moving.
Great. Can I get another set of perception checks?
Oh, God.
Again, it's a sort of, you hear the sounds of voices. Cecil, you hear your father's again, but you've been tricked once. It's not so easy to do it again. But Avi, you hear laughter. You hear Renan's laughter. Ron. And it comes from the brook.
I kind of give it a glance.
Great. Can I get a
But
wisdom
I don't,
save?
oh gosh. The 10.
Now, Avi's at the front, so you all can kind of see where she stops. She did a soft glance over, but now her full body has turned. And she's kneeling by the river, peering closer, getting closer, and Avi, sensation comes over you. You almost feel like you're falling. But then you're not. You're warm. It's cozy. And you look around and the framework of the house is unfamiliar. But you know that this is your house. You can see portions of yourself in the decorations, things that you know you would have picked out or made. And it's warm, earthy. It's seems a combination of you and Renan. You can hear laughter. Her laughter.
Oh, I don't hesitate. I'll go find her.
As you search to find Ron, you find that she is here, wearing very simple clothes. Clothes that would never be fit for any sort of adventuring that you are currently doing. It is clothes that are settled. And she's talking to your sisters. There's wine, there's an empty seat right next to Ron. And what is your passive perception?
16.
You see that she's wearing a ring, and you can feel the same weight of a matching one.
Y'all are partying without me.
We were waiting for you, darling. Your sisters have brought your favor. And Ron motions to the bottles, one already open, and the empty glass nearby.
Oh, I'll move over and take my place.
And it is easy that Ron, sort of, as you sit down next to her, her arm comes to hold you close. And Brecken,
Yeah.
Cecil. Avi is kneeling much as Cecil had been, face so close to the water that it's in it, and because she was in front of you, you all easily see this.
Well, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and pull Avi.
Avi, there is a mental tug at you. It doesn't feel like any sort of sending nor sort of time that you've connected to another person's mind. Do you fight against this mental intrusion?
Absolutely, I do.
Can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
It's a 4.
Avi, blink, and you two are blinking water out of your eyelashes. You are seeing where Bracken's now looking down at you, and your face is cold, your lungs a little hurt.
Avi, what happened? You too?
Why did you do that?
Because you were gonna drown yourself?
I don't care.
Yeah, you did.
I'm done with this place.
The only way we're getting out of here is to walk out of it, so let's get our job done and go.
As you continue, can I get another round of perception checks? You are you feel very tired as a group. The voices are present still. You see, you hear a voice, one that you've not heard in quite some time. As you hear Roderick. What do you do?
Oh no. Oh no.
You've now seen it happen twice where people have turned into the river. So
I fight to resist it. I full force am trying to resist it.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom save. I'll say with advantage since you're not looking at the water. It's just a whisper. You remind yourself that Roderick is dead. Has been.
No. No. And I keep looking away, and I know I can still hear it, but I'm just fully looking away, and I'm walking down. I'm following the river down where we are going, but I'm fully just no, no, no. Will not give in to what my friends have already gone through.
You follow the river to its end. A small grotto. Smaller lake. Big problems, though. As when you arrive, you would notice something strange here. There is a sort of reminiscence, or remnants to the fabrication chambers. That sort of fuzzy, translucent wall. But this is a larger problem. As you see a tear in the forest that becomes sort of this fraying into nothingness. And it seems like it's growing. Not at an expedited rate, no, but it could be if left unattended to.
This feels too big to fix for us.
But we could at least try.
Done some pretty big things before.
Something being too big has never stopped me before.
It may seem impossible, but I mean, we've made it this far.
Z's right. We've made it this far.
So what are your attempts to fix this fraying hole? What do you want to do? What do you want to try?
Bracken being more literal, he's gonna try to pull the hole shut. See if he can,
Give me a strength
it's-
check.
a tear in some fabric or something like that. Surely.
Bracken, you go towards the hole. You see the areas, and it looks like, the frayed burlap sacks that you used to lift to when you were just starting out in Wintervale. Just you got kicked out of the guard. And you know how to do this. You hold it tight until someone who's a little bit more handy comes over with a thread and needle or something else. Well, you fix the problem as you know how to. You grab one end and you pull it towards the other. And to everyone else, whether this is surprise or disbelief, Bracken grabs hold of one edge of this fraying reality, starts to pull it towards the other.
Can I help Bracken and try and tie it into a knot?
Sure. I'm going to say, God, I wish this was Witcher. I could just have you roll a crafting check. Oh, what would this be?
Hey, Chad, if you're interested in a Witcher game, be sure to you guys got VODs, right? Go check out Faye and the crew's VODs on the Witcher game.
Girls Run Things World.
Yeah, Girls Run These Worlds.
So, let me pull up.
Can I make a sleight of hand check?
I do
don't-
have a question.
I might have an answer.
I'll let you finish Cecil first.
I'm going to say that this will be a it's going to be dexterity based, so 1d20 plus dexterity, and if you are proficient in the performance skill, you may add proficiency bonus. Doing a little bit of mixing around rules.
It's gonna just be a 12.
12. It's something definitely not making much progress. Is you're trying to grab onto ethereal threads. Like, you have them, but it takes most of your effort just to tie one set together.
I'll go and try and help Cecil with what he's doing.
1d20 dexterity. If you have proficiency in performance, you may add that.
So 15 plus 19.
19. Oh,
Yeah.
you've seen weaving, and you've braided your hair, your sister's hairs. You understand the concept of taking threads to make them into something more, something whole.
Mm.
And you start to do that, seeing where Cecil's trying and struggling, accomplishing, but not quite well enough. But you can help. And you do. Start to bridge that gap. You can see where it starts to knit itself, seeing where you influence it. And then, Z, you had an idea?
Yeah, so I have leather workers' tools. And I know leather working, there is like a needle and thread, or like very thick thread. Could I possibly help Avi in almost like tacking down some of it as she's going down? So it'd be like trying to make sure that it's extra strong.
Yeah, I will
She needs more
say...
writing skills.
What?
I will say that with Z sort of coming behind Avi, sort of tightening that other areas, the smaller portions between Avi's braids. With all of your efforts together, you seem to lessen the hole to the point that it is almost non-existent. Where reality can almost knit itself back together like a wound closing. Can I get a perception check from everybody? Z. You would be the one to notice this. As your group kind of looks to make sure that there are no more tears or holes, nothing that could grow and fester. You spot sort of underneath the grasses and the low-growing flora that surround the grotto here. It almost looks to be parchment or paper.
I go over to examine it.
You have a scroll in your hands.
We found it. I think we found it. Or at least something. And I begin to slowly and carefully unroll it.
At first, when you unroll it, it is blank.
Okay, well. I sort of begin to I make a connection in my head, referring back to the River of Knowledge poem. Would it be called a poem? Yes? No? Maybe not? Maybe so?
It was a cryptic message that was left
A
behind.
cryptic message. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of refer back to the cryptic message. And the connection that kind of pops in my head is, could the people who have gone into the river, who gave into sort of the hopes and dreams section, could they be the ones to see the scroll, see what's written on the scroll? So I begin to kind of I show Cecil and Avi. Can you see anything on this?
So I'll take it.
Cecil?
I'll try and peek over. Stand on my tippy toes.
Cecil and Avi, let me just check something here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Gotta utilize my DM privileges. What do you mean, hey now?
No,
Yeah, huh?
stop that.
Alrighty, so that's for Avi. Now let me just go look over at Cecil real quick. Bum, 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 bum. Kind of figured this, but I will say that no, you don't see anything. However, due to Cecil's racial sort of awareness of magic and Avi, your sort of innateness coming from the sorcerer. The two of you would realize that there is some sort of magic that radiates off this scroll, almost.
Something magic-y, I think.
Definitely magic-y.
Of course.
I'll cast detect magic, see what kind of magic it is.
Can't y'all just flick your fingers at it and make it go away? Isn't that how magic goes?
My goodness.
As you cast detect magic, it does seem to be illusion magic.
Illusion. Okay. You got detect magic. I ain't got dispel magic. But somebody might.
Don't look at me. I can really just do this, and I use minor illusion to make a chair.
Oh, it's a nice chair.
You get
It's
some
fake.
chairs.
Yeah, try and sit in it.
It's
Nah, I'm
still
good.
nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's a little plastic face on it.
It's the frog chair from
Hell
Animal
yeah.
Crossing.
Well, I mean,
It's a
it's
pretty good chair.
whatever's on this scroll is. It was a lost scroll. Maybe it's being hidden. Whatever's on this scroll. So
Y'all, I'm so glad I looked through my spells.
you have dispel magic.
I have dispel magic.
Dispel this scroll, please.
Too. I mean, I was just like, it's sort of like Z takes a second, is like, wait, and then it's like immediately, wait, hold on, I think I can work this out, and I will begin casting dispel magic. Get rid of it. Go.
As the illusion is dispelled, it's almost silvery ink that begins to appear, as if the brush strokes are writing out the words. And the first that you see, Starshade Elixir.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go.
And as the illusion begins, or continues to fade away, you see ingredients. You see a process. You have the recipe.
Well, I think that we head back, make a stop at the elder tree, drop this off, and then tell that guy what his tablet meant.
Yeah.
Let's
For the
find Varro and get out of here.
Yes, please.
For the first time, their face is just lit up. I agree.
As your return, since you understand the dangers and draw of the waters, you are easily able to sort of avoid them. Well, maybe not easily, but you are able to avoid them. Be a bit of a struggle. But you return to the garden first, as that is point of order. It's where your path deviates. You can meet with, what is his name?
Lorendor.
Yeah, Lorendor. So I had Aliendor, which is the guy with the tablet.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you return to Brother Lorendor with the recipe. He looks over. Yes, this is Thank you. We have, it seems, all of these available. We'll make sure that the Elder Tree continues. Next, you can find Aliendor, who is still puzzled over his tablet, trying to make sense of the words, what they mean. And you can explain that they were a warning. What do you do next?
Do we bother Solarian again? He's the one that kind of asked us to help.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. He was nicer the last time we talked to him.
Oh, well.
I mean, if my thing is, if he gets angry that we bother him about something that he requested, I mean, I don't know really what to say. It's just, if he didn't want us to bother you, then. And they're being sarcastic. They're just fully being like,
Maybe he'll tell us where Varro is just to get rid of us.
Maybe.
hopefully.
Here's hoping. And Avi will turn on her heel and walk right in.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen, right?
When you enter the Hall of Ancient Scrolls, you do not see Varro present. Or not Varro. Silvarian. If you're talking about getting to Varro. You do not see Silvarian present. You would notice that the scrolls are all cleaned. And, what do you do?
Maybe he's gonna talk to Thalandranus.
Maybe.
He said that he would try.
Not wrong there.
See if we can find her.
Roll a investigation check, I'd say.
Okay. That's a 13.
You check the halls of the of ancient scrolls just to make sure that they're not in some sort of cubby. You don't see Solarian or Thalandranis. And as you move through the other portions of the area, you find yourself in the refectory, where Z you picked up that there was sound of some conversation happening. Not quite an argument, but definitely something that's a little bit more involved than catching up. You see that Silvarian and Thalandranis are speaking. Anyone overhearing the conversation can roll for me a history check here. Or not history, insight, I'm going to say, actually.
Not.
Cecil, what do you think you get out of a 6?
just kind of like nothing.
Okay, sounds good. Avi,
Mm.
see. Right. As you overhear the conversation, or at least parts of it, you can hear that there is care. A deep care from both parties, though it is presented differently. There are odds that they stand in. And you hear Silvarian not only trying to explain his duties and his infatuation, his captivation with the repository, with the Arboretum, but that he is not Silvaria. He is Silvarian. Has always been Silvarian. Valendranis is trying to convince him to come to Glimnor, where they can resume their lives together. And every so often you hear her refer to him as Silvaria. And, well, it seems that there is perhaps one more matter that needs to be resolved before you can ask Silvarian where Varro is. So what do you do?
I'll make my way over slowly. More towards Salandranus.
Okay.
I feel like I've kind of been the go-between for these two this whole time.
Do you say anything as you approach?
I see y'all finally found time to talk.
I do not know if I will have much time to continue the conversation. It is more circular.
Figured it might be. Is there anything that we can do?
Roll an insight check, Avi.
That's 21.
There are perhaps things that you can do that you think of as you ask.
Mm.
You could convince Solarian to return with Thalandranus, or perhaps the vice versa. And then there, of course, is maybe whatever's happening with Thalandranus' mind. Whatever afflicts her memories to paint Solarian as Solvaria. There are options here. You don't know how much would help either way, but there are things that you can do.
I don't know if that'll help. I have lesser restoration.
Mm,
Mm,
Let me just check the spell real quick.
blind, deaf, and paralyzed or poisoned. I don't.
Lesser restoration probably wouldn't be
Yeah.
the best help. You'd probably need something that's more akin to a greater restoration.
Yeah, I figured. Um. Alendronis, how long have you been in the repository?
Mm, I don't remember. I've
It's been
been
a,
searching.
it's been a
Trying to-
while.
Yes. I've been searching for Silvaria and to bring her home. And I found you. She looks over to Silvarian. Maybe we can go back to Gloomnoir now.
Honey, I don't think he's leaving.
We had a life together. One that was in Gloomnoir.
I understand. I really do. I had a lot with someone. Thought maybe one day I'd go looking for him. I never did. But I did move forward. I started healing. Maybe that's what you need.
Roll a persuasion check.
Just 14.
Her head moves in a way that she indicates that she's heard your words. And it looks like she's trying to process them, but perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's not quite sinking through into her as a way of moving forward. She's holding them in her hands, but unable to truly make sense of what to do. You can notice where Silvarian's eyes nearby have a sort of softness. There's an appreciation that there was at least an attempt. Again, he does care for his friend. Bye. We have the rest of you nearby, able to watch this. Do you do anything to help either Thalendronich or Silvarian?
Yeah, I suppose. What are my options of assisting exactly?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, well, look at that.
Hell yeah. Bracken, you kind of have the same kind of information that Avi does. That, again, there's a deep care for each other, but a difference of perspectives. Silvarian is captivated by the repository and his duties here to the Arboretum. Thalendronich wants Silvaria to return to Gloomlore, and the two of them pick up their lives together. What you, with a 22 on your insight, know that you could perform here. You can try and help, of course, with Thalendronich's memories. See if that can help bridge any of the disconnect here. You could also try and convince either party away from their original course of action. You can try and persuade Thalendronich back to Gloomlore. Or you can try and see, or not, you can persuade Silvarian back to Gloomlore or Thalendronich to stay here in Arboretum.
Yeah, you guys should make up and kiss, if I'm being honest. I've been to the Gloomlore. It's not, like, crazy. Like, if you guys stayed here, he could focus on reading all his books and getting really smart, and it honestly would be a better place for it.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, it's a crit again.
Again, Thalendronich kind of seems a little, like she's hearing you. She seems a little confused, and Silvarian seems a little, not quite frustrated, but very exasperated, as he's pinching the bridge of his nose, at the assumptions and insinuations of Bracken.
Look, I don't know one way, reading the body language, I don't know one way or another. I'm just throwing it out there. If you kiss and make up is more of a general term. You guys could if you want, I don't know, but that's, whatever.
Wow, Bracken. Delivery might need some work. He does make a point. I'm trying. Maybe you could stay here.
Roll a persuasion check, Avi. I'll give you advantage since you're riding off of Bracken.
18.
And we will return with the results of that 18 after our ad break. So, stick around with us. We will be right back to continue our story, but before we head out, I do ask that you let the ads run. They're very important to us here at Wildewitch RP. They help keep our games affordable. You can also always make a direct donation to my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen. Ko-fi donations not only help support us at Wildewitch RP, they also unlock awesome perks for our entire community. Perks include the special companions, double treasure, double XP, and new quests. So, stick around. We'll be right back. So, Avi,
Mm-hmm.
an 18. So maybe have the Alandrani stay here. Because Bracken did make a point. And she seems to kind of think about this more intensely than she has with the other things kind of thrown towards her in this conversation. And she seems fairly receptive to the idea, and you would notice that Silvarian kind of also looking. I mean, not only that, but perhaps if she's truly been here for a while, wandering the other portions of the repository, any damages that may have come to her. I can't promise an immediate fix, but we could work on helping her heal here.
It would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
I would prefer my friend to actually remember who I am.
I think this will work for everybody.
Alandronis, and Silvarian will turn to her. How about this? Stay for just a bit of time. I'll get you a room. And we'll see. We'll take it day by day. She kind of looks over to Avi first, to the rest of you, back to Silvarian. And she nods. Okay. And there's a bit of relief in Silvarian. And he turns to each of you. Thank you. Perhaps you can take a meal and some rest. I know that you are quite on your way, but I am unsure of how expended you may be of your energies. You've done a lot of help for us, and perhaps we can help you in return.
Now we're talking.
I'm not sure how resting would work for us here. I've been thinking about that, but I don't, because we're not, like, technically here.
Many of us are not quite technically here. Many of this place is not quite technically anywhere. But the arboretum is stable, and the food is edible. You should be able to rest as you would normally. At least in this portion. Can't quite say for the rest of the rest of the repository. It's been a long time since I've been anywhere close to your states of being.
Well, I think some sleep would do all of us some good. In that case.
Well, I am setting up to prepare for Valandronis' room. I can do the same for you. Do you all wish to sleep separately? And then, Natriana will speak up. I don't know about everyone else, but, I'm used to bunking around with people, so I'm fine.
I think that would be good.
Yeah. So. And, your other companion, the tiefling woman, she's been sticking around the halls of ancient scrolls and asked if there was any sort of accommodations. I believe she's planning on a single room. Group you all close together.
Thank you.
And so Silvarian will head off to set your rooms. You've been welcome to partake in the dinner. Do you do anything in the time that you wait? Any conversations with each other? Any sort of thoughts that linger in your own sense?
Cecil would be reflecting on what he saw in the stream and also what he was able to tell himself through the mirror. And it's both things are weighing on him pretty heavily.
Yeah, I'd say it's the same for me. Although it's not quite as heavy. It's just... It's more sad that she's not here than anything else.
I think Z is gonna be sitting up most of the night.
Not quite to night yet. This is between waiting for dinner and your rooms to be ready. We'll get to nighttime.
Sure, but sorry, let me.
No
Yeah,
worries.
I said the wrong thing. I apologize. I think that Z would. I definitely think they would. Even though they were excited about finding the recipe and then I guess almost being one step closer, but I think the voice of their almost like father figure Roderick, I think that's what stuck with them, even though they resisted the urge to go into that the river, the stream, whatever. I think it's that voice, they just keep repeating it in their head. Even though they know he's dead.
Bracken, where do you find yourself currently? Because everyone's kind of in their own thoughts.
Well, I found myself on my own 2 feet for one. Bracken's more glad that this situation seems to have been resolved so that we can move forward on things. The whole situation with, riddles and everything and having to do favors to get favors, to move things forward, to get other favors, to do more things for other favors was really kind of weighing on Bracken in a way that felt like he was just, spinning wheels in mud. And and this seems, maybe we can get some traction.
As Bracken, you're thinking that, you hear footsteps. They're not delicate. And you would see where Nachiana is approaching you. Alright. We're not always on the same eye to eye.
Sure.
But I think that, like, you're probably one of the most straightforward people here.
Thank you.
How do you do, like, the saying you're sorry thing?
Oh, I don't. Usually, I leave that to somebody else
Okay.
unless it's somebody I directly in the group pissed off, in which case, I'll just take my best effort at it. Usually it's less what you say and more what you mean by it, I think.
Okay, because, like, I don't know, I felt like... You remember that conversation that happened out in the courtyard? I don't know, you were off on your own, but I feel like you kind of had a visual of it.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I made Z cry, and... I don't know, that's not sitting well with me.
That's fair.
I don't know how to apologize, because I don't quite feel that I did nothing wrong. I just feel bad that I made Z cry.
Well, you don't I guess in that case you shouldn't apologize for, like, what you did. Or, well, I guess you should apologize for...
Like, I feel like if I go up and it's like, I'm sorry if what I said made you cry, that makes me look like a bigger dick.
That makes you look like an asshole. Don't say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm sorry that no, that's not gonna do it.
You know what, maybe we go to what your original tactic was, and we just kind of ignore it, and see if that makes things kind of, like,
well,
don't rock the boat.
Well, no, you've already said you want to do this.
Yeah. I feel bad. I
mean,
don't
go
want
with
to...
your gut on it. Do the thing that you want to do. Don't. I mean, like, we can figure. Look, we're two grown adults. We can figure this out.
Yeah, totally. That's why I came to you, because
Right,
you were the one that was going to give it to me straight.
Right. So clearly, what you should say is, "I hope you're feeling better." That's a good start, right? That's not putting any blame on you.
Right.
That's not, like, harming anything.
Exactly.
If there's anything I could do to help the situation, that's a good spot. I would be happy to work with you on it.
Okay, but I don't want it to seem like I'm cowing out, because, like, I...
No, I get you.
Yeah. Why don't we just start one step at a time, and I'll just say, hey, I hope you're feeling better. And then if anything comes from that, we see how it goes.
Yeah, then you just play it how you want. Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, cool. Thanks, Bracken.
Yeah, no trouble.
And she'll, like, give, like, a punch to the shoulder, but it's, like, that chummy kind where it's, like, not aggressive, really.
As she does that, whoa, hey, son, I'm already dating someone.
Oh, no, between you and me, you're not really my type.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
So, I mean, you're great. You're a cool guy. I'm glad that you found someone.
You're good. You're totally fine. I just wanted to make sure you didn't misread the situation.
Yeah, I don't want you to misread this either. I prefer people that are, and she'll just, like, motion to, like, taller. She doesn't say the word. You're great.
Yeah.
But
No, again, you're totally good. I just...
I'm gonna...
Yeah. I'm taken. I'm accounted for. I'm sorry.
Right, and I'm not attracted to you at all, and I'm just gonna go now.
Look, I saving face thing, I get it. It's cool. Go ahead, do your thing.
And there's really no saving face. I'm really not attracted to you.
There's no one-way repercussions one way or another. No harm, no foul.
Yeah,
you didn't know.
I'm not... You... Your
Don't be stressed about it. It's fine. Go talk to Z. Get the thing handled. It'll be great.
great friend. I don't see you like that. And she walks off.
If you need to get the last word about it, go right ahead.
And she just gives an unkind gesture as she continues walking. Um, and
Can't. Oh my god.
it's about the time that you guys are all being seated for dinner alongside the other people of the Arboretum, when Natriana will find her way towards Z, and like kind of sit down, very awkwardly in the chair next to Z at the big dining table, and just kind of leans in, hey, I just wanted to see if you're feeling any better.
Z looks over, gives Natriana a very, very genuine smile. No, I'm honestly okay. I don't know how much you know about me personally, but I know you've probably seen some of my thoughts, especially the orphanage and everything.
Yeah, that's really all that I know about you.
Yeah. What you said, it helped me, I guess, reflect on everything, but I also think that maybe, you know what you said really helped me to look into my own head. And it helped somewhat. And I'm sorry if you heard me crying. All I can say for right now is that there is just a lot going on in my head. But what you said, it was, even though there were things that are that need context, but they helped. That's all I can say, is that it made me realize that this journey is one that we need to take together, and of course we all have our own personal motivations. But I think that I was overcome by my own personal grief, and it ate at me. But yeah,
You see that as Z you speak, Natriana nods, and like gives like things like yeah, cool, and it's all like at appropriate moments. Across the table, Avi, with your passive insight, you can see that like Natriana is like struggling in the deep end, unsure of anything that she's supposed to be doing.
From the far end of the table, Bracken has noticed that no punches have been thrown, and he's kind of throwing a Natriana a thumbs up.
She
That's a
catches
good
it.
sign.
She catches the thumbs up and gives her own in return, but there's no confidence on her face.
I will. Oh goodness. Wow. I'm gonna subtle spell message.
Okay.
To Natriana.
Uh-huh.
Be gracious. Say you're sorry as well, and let the matter rest.
She responds, okay, but how do I say sorry? I was only really sorry for making them cry. I'm not sorry about what I said.
Okay.
She just like blurts out loud after the spell, we can talk about it later! And then like digs into the food.
I think Zio's also like, what made you?
No, don't worry about it. You know what? This is great stuff. Is this that spice that we had to go get? She looks over to, what is his name? Brother, Eleanor?
Mm.
If
Rapper
and
goes, ooh, 2 strikes in a day, and he's gonna start eating his own food.
I think also Zio's like, they look around, they're like, did anybody hear sobbing earlier?
What?
I just am asking because I just needed to, you know.
Wow, this food is
release-
really good.
Brother Aelin, yeah, Brother Aelindor, the one that had the mysterious, plaque that sent you to the area, is like, I heard someone crying, but I thought it was one of the spirits.
Yeah, it must have been a ghost or something.
That makes perfect sense.
Zio's just lost and is like, well, I
Ye-
guess we made up ground, and then they start eating.
Z, you would notice that your Axibus, who has been silent the entire time, is watching you with a knowing eye. But
I know what you did.
You know what you did.
but yes, is there any other conversations or interactions that you wish to have during, after dinner, or before your rest? If not, you are able to be shown to your rooms, which are very simple. They're almost akin to rooms you would find in a monastery. They're necessities. Where you can take your rest. And with your rests, it is where our session ends. And we will pick up after your sleeping period with the information and the help that Silvarian can offer. So, thank you to our players for playing. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope everyone enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in the next stream, but until then, head over to wildewitch.com. Check us out there. Join us in our Discord to jump into a game yourself and to keep up to date with all of our announcements. And of course, as always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.